Okay, well, youth work is pretty much, can be loads of things.
So youth work is a discipline that basically goes to where young people need it to be.
It's probably one of the few relationships with adults that young people have where the adult hasn't got a particular outcome in mind for that young person.
Not many people understand youth work.
Youth work is a process of engaging young people in a way that they're choosing to interact. So it's on their terms, in their space, in a way that young people feel they've got ownership of the process.
We're not just there to babysit young people, as they call it.
To me, youth work is all around supporting and guiding young people through their transitional phase in their life.
So youth work to me is around working with young people and educating them, providing them with lots of opportunities.
Working alongside young people where they're at on their own journey to develop their wider skill set.
For young people, it's really important that they have that other space where it can just be focused totally on their own internal needs and looking more about their social and emotional development alongside those practical steps around education and life ahead.
Youth work focuses more on the child.
Young people need that space. They need the space that's about them and not about anybody else.
Youth work is vitally important, and I feel like there's never been a greater need for it almost than there is now.
I think there's a lot of assumption made about young people just growing up, but actually it's really quite a complex time.
It's really important to kind of be that sort of trusted adult when they feel that they might not have someone else that they can go to.
The relationship that you have between the youth worker and the young person, and that's what makes it so special, I guess.
They are choosing to engage with youth workers rather than being compelled. They're required to go to school, they're required to see a policeman or to work with a social worker. They choose to engage with youth workers, and that enables the relationship with young people to be so uniquely different, and that is what's so precious about high quality youth work.
They have got so much energy, ideas, creativity and unlocked potential that just by putting in the right youth work at the right time can really unleash that and help them discover those skills and take them on the right life path for them. And I think if we stop doing that, then we close that down. I think we're in a hugely different landscape to when I started in the 90s.
I mean, there's the really obvious things like funding.
The introduction of technology.
Youth work as a principle, as a set of practices, has not changed a great deal. It's still voluntary engagement and education, and it's still there to champion equality, and it's still a learning experience for young people in their own time and space.
Some national organisations are taking on youth work. We've seen football clubs, we've seen NHS providers.
Yeah, there's not as much statutory provision, there's not as much funded youth service offer as there was, but I think what's happened is that youth work has evolved and it's grown and the world's changed, not just funding that's changed. And so now youth work is really more creative and more diverse, and it's happening in different places and spaces and using different methods.
What we're seeing is that it's moved out into different places and spaces.
There's now more corporates that are involved or trying to be involved in youth work.
The context in which youth work sits in has totally changed. At a local government level, you used to have traditional youth services, and there are still some of those still going, and they're doing a grand job. But now we see more voluntary sector support coming in. We're seeing youth work in housing associations, even in A&E departments and cancer care units. So whilst youth work is still youth work, the context in which it's placed in or happens in certainly changed quite dramatically.
I think it's so unique because you can do so many things with it.
I think I could work in this for 60 years and I still would never have touched on all of the different types of youth work and experiences that are happening, so that's what makes it really cool.
I think youth work is really important because it helps young people to kind of reach their full potential.
And just having a really safe space and an adult who is trained to help navigate you through that with an understanding of your life context and what's happening socially, emotionally, physiologically to you is really unique and special. And I think an awful lot of people probably underestimate the power of youth work. I think unless you see it and understand what it is which is unique and different, then it's it's harder to argue for it, but it's not until you see it in practice that you recognise how different that is.
There is no other profession as such that supports in the totally holistic way. So outside of school, outside of other services, youth work is there for young people where they choose to engage.
Social work has one agenda, education has another agenda, and youth work is all about young people's agenda.
I would describe youth work as the third profession. You have youth work, teaching, social care. Youth work fills the gap that's not in the school, that's not in, in that safety space of social care, but is there to protect, enable young people to learn and grow through informal learning.
There's no ulterior motive. It's not about they've got to achieve this because that would look good for us. Youth work is about young people. It's about their journey. It's about their development.